So in today's video, we are going to talk about the story which was written by Arun Joshi. The name of the story is The Only American in Our Village. So this story revolves around Dr. Khanna, who is a physicist at Wisconsin University. So this Dr. Khanna, he is a very famous physicist and he lives in America with his wife Joanne and his 2 kids. He was from a village from India a long time back. He was from here, but he moved outside because he was a good student. He moved outside, he got a scholarship and he started studying in the US. So now this guy, he has come back to India with his kids and wife for a tour, and he goes around for a month, he meets everyone, he does everything, and in the end, one day his wife and kids, they have gone on another tour and he decides to give a speech in a college, in a university. And after the university, what happens? After the speech, there is something which is going to affect his life and it is going to change it forever. So what happens is, he's outside, the speech went well, everyone was appreciating him, and when he came outside, he was with the principal and they were talking, and suddenly this one man came and he looked very weird. He spoke very weird. He had this strange kind of aura around him. And this guy, he came and he stopped Dr. Khanna, and he stopped him and he was like, I need to talk to you, right? And this Khanna, he's shocked because why would someone like this from the village would need to have to talk to him? The strange man, he introduces himself as the Ashtam Farosh of the village. He actually sells newspaper outside the building, and he tells Dr. Khanna that I actually know you. You have been to our house a couple of times. Your father and I, we were very good friends. We were bench mates when we were in school and we were always together. So now Dr. Khanna, he's a little bit taken aback with the mention of his father because he hadn't seen his father in a long time. So he's looking at this guy, but then this guy, he doesn't care. He kept telling him stories about the childhood of his father himself. He kept telling him that your father, he was a scholarly student in the school as well. He studied so well, every teacher liked him, and he always used to get scholarships, and that's how he studied everything, and he went ahead, and then he got a job, he got married, he had you, and he came back to the village. So Dr. Khanna, he's still listening to the stories. He wants to move, but he cannot move away because of the way this Ashtam Farosh is standing. He cannot really move away. Now the Ashtam Farosh, he tells him that your father was so proud of you that, my son, he went to America, he's studying there, and he was always talking about you. He was so proud of you. And then he was very upset, he was very disappointed when he got the news that you got married to someone in America and you never invited him, like nothing, you just got married. Your father was upset and he was disappointed. He came up with this new name for you that was like that my son is the only American in this village, or he's the only boy who has ever been to America from our whole village. So that makes him very special. So now this Ashtam Farosh, he tells that, we were all old and we were almost, everyone's at the verge of dying and near to death. And your father, he would just come to the group and keep telling things about you which did not interest us at all. So one day I told him that, it doesn't matter, even if your son is the only American in this village, it doesn't matter because he's not here, he's not doing anything for us, he's in America and he's living his life over there. So this made his father really sad, okay, Dr. Khanna's father very sad, and he stopped coming to these meetups. He changed his way of walking and he stopped meeting these people. And then this Ashtam Farosh tells that your father and I, we used to go and get a shave together every alternate day. But then suddenly your father, he stopped coming to the barber and he started shaving every day. Now this Ashtam Farosh, he went to his father and he was like, why are you shaving every day? Like what's the need? And why are you shaving at home? And then the father tells that, I'm expecting a ticket from my son to America. That's why I need to shave every day. And he also bought a couple of new clothes which he would wear in America. So now this Dr. Khanna, he's listening to the story and he's a little bit more uncomfortable because he knows what he did, right? So his father was waiting for a ticket, but the ticket never came because Dr. Khanna never sent him a ticket. Ashtam Farosh said that, this thing that your father, this normal guy, he would go to America, that was a big thing. So this Ashtam Farosh, he actually told some people about it, like he was happy that, this friend of ours is going to go to America. So everyone knew in the village, like one person told to the other to other, and everyone knew in the village that he's going to go to America, but the ticket never came. This made his father really disappointed. And at this, Ashtam Farosh asked Dr. Khanna that why didn't you send a ticket? Because he was really desperately waiting for the ticket, but you never sent it to him. And then Dr. Khanna, he couldn't say much because he should have had sent the ticket, but he did not. He knows that. So he just responded with, I didn't have the money. At which Ashtamfarosh, he again went back to their past, you can say, right, when they were kids. So he went back to the childhood, and he said that we used to go to school every day, and there was a chow between the village and the school. So they had to cross that chow, and that chow during the summer, it was just sand, only sand. It's very hot sand, and they didn't have any shoes. So your father and I, we used to use the tree leaves, and then we would tie them around our feet, and then we would walk cross over that chow and go to school. And sometimes those leaves, they would fall off because we had just tied them. They were not shoes. So then we would have to walk on burning sand. We used to walk every day to school. So he said, after you didn't send the ticket, he was really disappointed, and he fell sick. And when he fell sick, I sent you a speed post to America, which cost me 100 rupees. And I still sent it to you because I was expecting that you would come back. But you never did, and you just sent a normal post saying that you had a conference and you couldn't come to see your father, who was very sick. Right? He returned to his old health and everything was fine. But then he told this Ashtamfarosh that, okay, let's go see the bench on which you carved my name when we were young. So Ashtamfarosh had mentioned this, that your father, because he was such a good student, a scholarly student, he didn't want to carve his name on the desk. So this Ashtamfarosh, he had done it because he was never a good student. He didn't care about anything. So he had carved his name on his side and the father's name on the other side. So they both, when they're adults, they go to see that desk. It still had the name, both their names. And then when they were going back, now they had money, they had shoes and everything. I mean, of course, they were better off than what they were doing when they were young. But the father, he refused. He said, I want to cross the chow, just like how we used to do it when we were young. So he removed his shoes, he gave it to the Ashtamfarosh, and then he took those leaves and then put it on his feet and then started walking. In the middle of the chow, those leaves, they fell off, and this father, he kept walking on that burning sand, the hot blazing sand. He kept walking on it, and then he came home. And the very next day he died. And the Ashtamfarosh told that you didn't even come to his funeral, and that's how he died. So you didn't come when he was sick, you didn't send him a ticket, you didn't invite him to the wedding, you didn't even tell him that you were going to get married, and then your father died. So it affected him mentally, that all that his father had suffered for him and what he did for his father was like nothing. He never paid back, even a little bit. So now what happens is, now we come to the present and we see that Dr. Khanna is suffering through some kind of mental sickness, that he keeps looking at his feet and he keeps saying that his feet are burning, and they have been to all the doctors in America and they are trying to find a reason of what's happening to him, but no one is able to find anything wrong with him. No one is able to do that. He just can't get rid of the burning sensation on his feet, and that is it. That's the story. If you like the story, I have already recorded the whole story. I have read the whole story, and it's in audio form. I will leave a link to it. It is about less than 10 minutes, right? So you could just listen to the whole story whenever you're cooking or working or whatever you're doing it, right? So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked, please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.